Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about hyperthreading and some misconceptions regarding hyperthreading in games. The misconception is that hyperthreading does not benefit games. Now I can see where this comes from. A lot of people notice that an i5 for games versus an i7 for games doesn't really offer too much of a difference. The i5 usually keeps within 10% of the i7, despite the i7 having 4 extra logical cores. So the obvious conclusion to draw is that hyperthreading does not help in games. However, this is a false conclusion. The real reason why an i5 and i7 offer the same amount of performance in games is that the i5 has 4 physical cores, whereas the i7 has 4 physical and 4 logical cores, but the logical cores are beyond the 4 limit that most games will support. In fact, most games do not benefit from more than 4 physical or logical cores at any time, meaning that even if you had an i7 6800K with 6 physical cores, it would still offer no benefit over the i5 in gaming, and not because of hyperthreading, but because the games that do not support more than 4 cores or threads. Now, you can easily test this by testing a Pentium G4400, which is a 2 physical core, no virtual core processor, versus an i3-6100, which is 2 physical cores and 2 virtual cores. You will notice that the i3-6100 outperforms the Pentium in all games, especially CPU intensive ones, by about 30 to 50%. Now, if hyperthreading was not supported in games, this would not happen, since the only benefit of the i3-6100 over the Pentium G is that it has 2 extra virtual cores thanks to hyperthreading. So I hope this helped clear up some confusion. Hyperthreading in games is not unsupported, it's just more than 4 cores in gaming is unsupported. Now, on another note, newer games are starting to use more than 4 cores. Some examples include Battlefield 1, GTA 5 uses some, not very well, but they're starting to use them more and more often, and that means that i7s going forwards in future titles can become more worthwhile compared to i5s, especially because of DirectX 12 implementation, which is supposed to make better use of CPU usage. So should you get an i7 for gaming, or should you get an i5? Well, it depends on a lot of factors, some of which include what GPU you're using. For example, you want to make sure you strike a pretty good balance between your CPU and GPU at all times. And if you're wondering what is a good balance, be sure to check out my previous video. I made a pretty detailed comparison there. For me personally, I would say get an i7 6700K if you're into high CPU usage games. Not only does it offer hyperthreading, which can and will become more and more useful, it does have higher single core performance compared to an i5. However, if you're more of a casual gamer and are not into super high CPU intensive games, then I would say an i5 is more than enough for your needs. In fact, going down as low as an i3-6100 will probably be fine for most games. And that sums up this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, make sure to leave a dislike and tell me in the comment section why. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.